Hi, everybody. Back from my travels from earlier on. So, as promised, I'm here just now. So I'm just going to hang fort, or hold the fort rather, while I wait for some folks to join. And we can go over what I was up to today. I'm just going to put Instagram on for a laugh. Here we go. There we go. So now we're live on Instagram and on Facebook. And I was just going to say what I was up to today. So today I went up to Bearsden. So I went to the Roman baths there. And I went then to Rough Castle, which is part of the Antonine Wall as well. And I took some live videos, which I hope you all saw. And the idea is that we are kind of putting together a plan of things we can do, tours we can do, while we are targeting, obviously, the more local market. So people from Scotland and other people in the future, because we are looking to reopen from the 15th of July, but probably only really start doing tours from August. So I'll be putting the announcement with that next week, the actual date, because we had another announcement today for social distancing and things that are going to be happening with various different industries and how we can actually manage that and how we're going to operate from that point. I'll just quickly say hi, Patty, and hi, everybody who's coming in on Instagram as well. And hopefully the connection is okay for you all. So what we will be doing is walking tours. So I'll be doing my walking tour locally here in Greenock. I've got two walking tours that we'll be doing for Greenock. We've got the Greenock Cut, which is about a 6-mile walk along an ancient memorial, which is an aqueduct which was carved out the side of the hillside here in the 1820s. And then I'll be doing the Greenock Town Trail, so that's slightly different. So that's going to be like different points along what's known as the Greenock Town Trail. So that's going to be like the Old West Kirk. We've got Jamaica Street in there. We've got our very own Kelpie, which is Ginger the Horse. We've got the Esplanade, Cathcart Square, our town hall, our municipal building. So all these things are really ornate and nice for photographs and full, like, loaded with history. So interestingly, though, for those particular tours, I've only ever taken local people on them. Aside from the cruise ships, we do those tours for cruise ship passengers. But mainly just the cut for that. But the other tour, I've only ever taken local people. So I'll be doing that again. And when I say local people, I'm talking about people from Scotland, as long as it's safe to do so, to join the tour. And then looking to do more private tours, which are going to be tailored towards a specific time in Scottish history. So things you've probably never done before, i.e., the Roman history of Scotland. So we're going to be doing like the Antonine Wall. Over here in Greenock as well, we've got a lot of Roman history, and in other places towards West Lothian. We'll then be doing some other tours, like with a focus on the Viking past in this area as well. So going into Argyll, for example, that's going to be a big one. going down, doing some stuff with Robert Burns and Bruce down into Ayrshire. So I'll be doing a lot of private tours. These are things I do anyway, and I have been doing for the past, 7 years. But it's not been on a specific generic itinerary. So most people who come to Scotland, they have a certain specifications that they're looking for, such as Stirling Castle, Edinburgh Castle, things like that. But I think more for the local market is to give, a different sense of Scotland, things that they can really get their teeth into, things that are slightly less Scottish as well, I suppose, in a slight slant there. So you can feel like, although you're out in Scotland, you're learning about other cultures, other things to do with our past, which are linked to other nations. We'll be doing more into just a step out of what we learned in school. So that's going to be quite good. And just being able to take a wee drink. So I was thinking about going to our friends over at, Slange in Aricher, and doing a tour up that way and seeing if Auchendrane is going to be open. These are places which are kind of off the beaten path anyway. So I'm hoping that will entice people, having somebody who is knowledgeable take you around, as well as having the ability to just relax and not have to worry about driving anywhere, so that you can also enjoy a wee beverage. And everybody is equal in that. So we'll be doing a lot of the walks and obviously the private tour. So these are things which I'm really excited about. For those who cannot come with us this year, we're hoping to also get more footage while we're out and about at this time. So it was quite nice to see people's responses to seeing Scotland at the moment when you're not able to travel. So I'll be doing stuff like that. So while I'm out and about, going around different places now, having a focus on not taking us into actual visitor attractions per se, and sticking more into kind of scenic locations, just because of the nature of what's going on at the moment. I think it's nice to kind of save a wee bit of money as well. And as we can, and as the other places start opening, we will then start to incorporate them. So it's going to be good fun, and I can't wait. We've got Laura. Laura said she's first on the list, always first on the list. So I'm looking forward to it. And today was just amazing just to get out. I did it a couple of weeks ago. Now, obviously, we've got a 5 mile limit at the moment. This stuff here is, for me anyway, is work. So I'm still going out to try and get some nice footage for the tours and to help with our virtual tours as well. So I've always got my hand gels, my face mask at all times, and I don't take anyone with me when I'm doing these. So that's the plan. Hello, Alan. Hi, Tim. And yes, Laura, you're always first. Laura's been with me so many times. I was even thinking, like, there's so much history in our own local areas that people just don't know about. And I thought this is a really great opportunity to be responsible, informative, and get people interested in their own places. So obviously international travel for us as well is going to be a little bit more restrictive. So this is a way, if you've been saving your pennies for your 2020 holiday, spend it with us in the nicest possible way. Spend it at home. There's so many cool things to do. There's so many wonderful places. There's so many gorgeous beaches. There's so many hills. There's really great things for families, for kids. It's just, yeah, you're just going to have to get out and explore your own country, and you will not be disappointed. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm really looking forward to it. And Jennifer, hello, awesome. That'll be lovely. Come from Australia. Obviously, things are still, I mean, there was an announcement today. Nicola Sturgeon made an announcement. So we're all going to have to start wearing masks by next week in the shops. So I encourage that anyway. Obviously, just to make it very clear, those who cannot wear masks, we're doing this for them. I will be wearing my mask. And for those who bought their masks so far, my mum finished them. I picked them up today. So I'm going to be sending them out tomorrow. I went to send them today, but the queue was so big and I was like, right, I've got a schedule, but I'm going to be doing it first thing tomorrow morning and hopefully it's a bit quieter. So if anyone else wants a mask, we can now start taking orders again. And I'll be sending those other masks out tomorrow morning. Yes, Dee, you've seen me. This is the third video I've done today. This is the third one. And it was just so amazing to be out. It did feel really weird. So I'm still in my kilt. I've not actually been home that long technically. I got home, had my dinner, quickly went to the shop, and now I'm online again. And the amazing thing about Scotland is that at this time of the year, the daylight remains for quite some time. So I managed to get quite a lot done that I could never do in the winter season. So that was good. And thanks, Tim. Totally agree. Yeah. Oh, lost audio. Can you see if it's working, Helmet? Let's see. I don't know why it should be going. Can everybody else hear me? It might just be a connection thing. Just give me a wee hello if you can hear me. It's on. Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Laura. I don't know, Patty, it might just be your connection there. Hopefully you can hear me now. So there's going to be masks, hand gels. We're going to keep going with an element of social distancing from our side. We'll be doing like deep cleans, stuff like that, between each tour, wiping down door handles, cleaning the inside of the car while people are in. So this is unlikely we're going to be doing any bus tours this year. If we did get a larger group, though, we possibly could. So we'll need to see. So I'm just going to say goodbye to our guys on Instagram because I think Instagram's always a pain in the butt. So let's say goodbye to you guys here on Insta. And if you can, you'll see this on YouTube and on Facebook. It might be better for you there. So take care. Okay, so we've got that. So when, Laura, when? So I'm thinking we are going to do our first tour in August, just purely because we're going to have another announcement apparently next week. And with that, I want to make sure that everything, all our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted. So I'm thinking like the first week of August. It's going to be, if we do that, it's going to be on a private basis though. That's the only thing, because there's no way we can realistically have social distancing to a safe, in my point of view anyway, a safe manner on a bus. So because there's aircon and things, I mean, today it was really warm. I was driving and I was boiling, so I had to put the aircon on at one point. And if you've got your aircon on, it's just recycled air, so it doesn't matter if you're sitting like 6 meters away from the next person. It's not going to be very good, and you're just going to not have the best time if you're sitting there melting in a vehicle down windy roads. So we're going to stick to private tours for now. They will be at quite a reduced rate though. So we'll be announcing our 2020 private tour rates next week. And then, so the way that's going to work is if you're from the same household, obviously it's going to work, or from the same group. So I think it's all going to have to come out as we know more. Nicola Sturgeon's announced to some industries today, but we don't exactly know how. So if it's just one person, we're fine. If you are a wee family group, fine. If you are friends, that's when it's going to start getting a little bit dodgy. So we're going to have to work that out as soon as we can. But as I said, we can possibly still take a bus if that's the case, and we can have people spaced out. But there's going to be aircon. So once we get around that hurdle and understand what that means, yeah, we're going to have to check that out. So that's the plan. For Deborah, who's coming in, there's other things. Obviously, I'll be back on the ancestry stuff very soon. Hopefully, the archival centres across Scotland will slowly start to open. It'll probably only be on an appointment-only basis, but that's fine as long as I can book my space in and I can go there for a couple of hours. I'm good with that. At the moment, they're still all closed. So we're going to have to wait for that. Once they start opening some of our visitor attractions, if there's a place which is significant to your family or to your ancestry, I can then start going there. But this kind of, yeah, everything's been closed. Car parks have been shut, you name it. It's not been the best for what I've been doing. But hopefully in the next 2 weeks, the very least, I'll be doing my ancestry stuff and the walking tours. So Laura, I would expect you to come down. We are well serviced here in Greenock with trains, so you can get a train from Glasgow. So if you can get yourself to Glasgow, you can get yourself here. We've got, well, the Greenock Town Trail. There's 2 train stations close by, which can get you to the starting point for that. We're going to be doing a special deal with that as well, where we're going to work with other local traders locally so that you come on our tour and you can get a voucher, etc., to buy yourself some nice lunch or a nice dinner after the tour. So we're going to be doing things like that to encourage people to have more than just a walk and more of a day out experience. And we'll also be doing, like I said, the cut. When we go up the cut, we work with the Ardgowan Fisheries. That's where we tend to have our coffee and our wee bit of food. And they have got their cafes been open for a wee while, actually. But again, I'll be doing this, guys, come rain or come shine. I don't care. I've done the cut. Actually, I had a funny story years and years ago. I did a tour up the cut with a family group from Ayr. And it was 2 of the girls, they were twins, and it was their 30th birthday celebration, and their parents gifted them my tour. And it was just like, one way was fine, the way back for 6 miles was just like torrential rain. So that was interesting. But I'll be out there, I don't care. Dress appropriately and you'll still get to enjoy Scotland. You'll still enjoy the sights. And the cut walk is one of my favourites. I do it when I'm on tour or not. You've got so many historically significant things and aesthetically pleasing things you can see from it. It's part of the Clyde Marshall Park. Therefore, you've got they've got Harris hawks in there. They've got ospreys in there. They've got other birds of prey. You get to see some wee stoats and things. Birds like dippers are always, in fact, this is a good time to see them. You've got butterflies, you've got lovely flowers, gorgeous trees. The rowans are dotted across it. And then you get to see things like, you get to see pretty much the whole Clyde estuary. And then you get to see sites like the island of Arran, island of Bute down towards Rossie, up the Holy Loch, up Loch Long, into Inverkip, and the marina. You get to see a nice marina. So it's a really beautiful walk. And it's really easy as well. So if anyone has any like mobility issues, it's one that I always encourage people to do, because although it might be 6 miles, it's 8 kilometers roughly. And it's all level, so there's no real hills or awkward things. It's a fairly well kept path the whole way along. It takes me to do the one, like from just the cut section, because I actually add a wee bit in at the end. So if you did it with me, we go past Loch Tom and then over the back towards some of the other auxiliary lochs as you make your way back down to our starting point. You get to see some amazing scenery over the River Clyde that way, and lots of sheep, some cute little houses. You'll get to see the Argyll, if you have any family or any ancestry with the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders. It's a really good one because that's where they used to train. So if you've got any military history on that side, we've got a nice memorial that we pass on the way. So a lot of people leave things there. So the full walk usually takes me about 3 hours. And I'm not the fastest walker. My kids will tell you that as well. Like, I'm not the fastest, but it's a really nice walk to do. For the town trail, it's usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending how much I'm blethering and going on. But I might be able to include some things because it's not usually open anyway, but they might open it for us just to go through because social distancing will be okay, to go see things like the Dutch Gable and things like that. So I'm going to see if I can get that. And then that one, yeah, between an hour. I'm thinking because we're not doing the Maclean Museum, unfortunately, so the museums and things, we're going to have to see when they're going to be reopened and, you know, how that's all going to work. But the museum is quite good for the history of Greenock. So a lot of people don't know that Greenock was probably the centre of real commerce, of maritime commerce in the British Empire, second to London. So you have shipbuilding, you have the customs and excise building here. You've got all of that. Sorry, let me just quickly check. So Deborah's here now. I will be rescheduling the trip for 2021, Deborah. I had Harold in as well. He just messaged us today. So we're going to be doing that for September 2021. So the Ramsay tour is back on. I've managed to find everybody and catch everybody now. So they're all happy. They're actually happy they don't have to stress about it, to be fair, because September, with what's happening in other countries at the moment, it's quite scary for people to think about traveling because it's probably not going to happen. So we have rescheduled pretty much all of our tours to 2021. But it's just going to be like watching this space, really watching this space. As we know more, I'll be releasing more information and probably adding maybe a couple of itineraries in there as things start to calm down, maybe. It all depends on what's going to happen. We'll have to see. That's basically it. Had the lady asking me about an Outlander tour in September. I was like, maybe, maybe not. We just don't know. So we're just going to have to hold on. And Deborah, I can't wait for you to come. We're going to have a great time. Me and Deborah are going to go through to Arbroath. Hello, Biggle. Nice to see you. Hi, Michelle. I missed you too. Hope you've been all been well. We've been very busy. So working, as you all know, I've got a second job at the moment, and I'll keep that job until my contract runs out. So I've got the contract for that until I think the 3rd week of August, maybe. And maybe it's extended. So I'm going to keep that as long as I need to, basically, is what I'm going to do, because it's the only security I actually have at the moment. But I will be still out and about on my days off. I decided to do everything else today because tomorrow the weather forecast is pretty miserable. So I didn't want to take any real footage and be running around outside while it was completely drenched. Deborah, I'm working for, very ironically, I'm working for the NHS in England. So I'm doing stuff for them to do with COVID. So it's very ironic, the fact that I'm not working because of COVID, but I've got a job because of COVID. So it's quite good though. I do 12-hour shifts. Helmut's doing it as well. So we're both doing 3 12-hour shifts a week. It's 3 days on, 3 days off, 3 days on, 3 days off, 3 days on. So today's my first day off. I go back on Sunday and I finish on Tuesday and then I'm back. So I'll be kind of changing my schedule a wee bit to suit that at the moment, just because, yeah, I have to. I did put on a lady on one of these Facebook groups mentioned the other day, and I did get my huckles up a wee bit about it, because she posted on this group that it's great, this place on Sky had given her a full refund and this is what people should be doing and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of came in there and said, look, we should be postponing. Let's just postpone, do what we can to postpone. We've just announced yesterday, 12,000 jobs across the UK in 2 days have gone. 12,000 people have been made redundant in 2 days. So my hope is to keep going as much as I can personally, so that I can make sure my business is here and I'm still safe and secure for the future, and so that you guys don't have to worry about it. But also just understanding what's happening in the world a little bit. It's a bit mental. And it's at this time that we should all be really supportive of each other. So my plea to other Scottish people, or even people in the UK, as things start to move about a bit more later on, come to Scotland, support your local businesses, wherever you are in the world. You can't necessarily go abroad. Support your local businesses, support home businesses at the moment. It will keep them going, so that it'll be, I wouldn't say back to normal, because I don't think normal was ever good for a number of different reasons. I think quality wasn't that great after a certain point, because there's so many people doing it, you know, who thought it was a quick buck. And I think this is probably going to teach people that it's not the way, and that we have to be responsible, economically responsible, better to the environment, try to give the best possible experience, and be mindful of people who live in these places that we go to visit, and being mindful of that. And hopefully we'll start to see a different attitude. So that could be little things like parking. Like there was this one tour I did a couple of years ago on Sky, and I took my ladies up to where the Fairy Glen is, and I dropped them off, and it's notoriously bad there because it's so busy. And Sky really does get really busy in the main season. So I knew, instead of being part of the problem, just parking wherever I felt like it, I drop them off and then I drive away. And then I say, be back at this point. I'm going to come back at this time. Be there maybe a couple of minutes early, because it's like a jump back in kind of scenario. So I went away and down to a wee graveyard I know down the road. Sat there for half an hour or whatever it was, drove back up. When I went back up, I went a wee bit earlier just to see if I could find a spot. And I did. But to do that, I had to go up and turn the vehicle around, which is by this guy's farm. So I did. I went up and I turned the vehicle around and everything was fine. And as I was turning, this self-drive guy came up and he parked his car in this farmer's driveway. And I said to him, like, you can't park here. This is somebody's driveway. And he went, well, where am I supposed to park? And I said, well, you're not. Like, you're just going to have to do what everybody else does and park and walk or come back or whatever. That's not how this place is. Scotland is not necessarily in each place set up to take the volume of traffic it has been seeing in certain places. So we always have to try and be beneficial to the local economy without being annoying to the locals and make their life difficult. And other tourists, and just and also for the ecology of the place and not ruin the ecosystem by trampling too many boots, tramping and doing these weird things. People like to do these like rock piles everywhere. Don't do that. Just don't do that. It's bad. Like, don't put rock piles there. People do it for Instagram or whatever they're doing. Don't do it. This has become a really like waggy finger thing. Anyway, we're not going to be doing that. So if I see people do it, I will tell them. But hopefully this whole situation is going to be making people a bit more mindful about how they should behave in different places, in different cultures, wherever it is. And hopefully we'll be kinder to our planet as well. So, you know, it's funny, somebody like myself saying that, because I have, you know, most of my income comes from tourists. In fact, all of my income comes from tourists, and I love it. But I think, you know, the volume of people who go at the one time is not that great. So hopefully volumes keep coming, but at a more measured pace. And I hope that also people are going to see and be a bit more interested in other places, not just the kind of bucket list things that they've seen on Instagram or Facebook, that they go and see different places across Scotland, which might be interesting, like Argyll, going into Argyll, going down our way here. We don't get very many tourists down here, and it's got so much to, you've got so much to see and do, and it will maybe give other places a bit of a break. So that's my thought. I don't know if anyone else has that, but yeah. So hopefully we'll start to see places come back to a relative normality, but with a better footprint on what we are looking to achieve. So that's my ambition for what I plan to do over the next, well, for the foreseeable future. And not to kind of toot my horn, but I have my own horn, I should say. I have been doing that anyway. We try to focus on lesser known places. When I started doing the Outlander tour, nobody went on an Outlander tour. So, and then it just, everybody started doing Outlander tours. But when I started, nobody was doing them. So I think now we're going to see that expand and go to other places and come to the Hebrides with me, or go to the island of Mull with me, or go to Skye with me, or come down and spend. We actually had a tour and we got a lot of inquiries, but nobody actually ever booked it. And I think it's because it's 5 days and people just assumed that they didn't have the time doing what else they wanted to do on it, on their trip. So this tour that I set up, one of the first tours was the William Wallace tour. So I'll probably actually bring the William Wallace tour back, actually. And the Wallace tour was something that came to me because before I started doing tours, I used to be more of a, well, I was in marketing and I fell into marketing for tourism. And then I became, I established my own Scotland website, and I became a bit of a blogger, you know. Before, people were really bloggers. So it was trying to get other businesses, promote places to Scotland for different things. This is before we've seen the kind of tourist numbers we have. So it was to kind of shed light on some great places in Scotland, some places, some room for improvement, that kind of thing. And what I did is I focused on areas. So I'd have a regional ambassador. So I had a lady down in Dumfries and Galloway. I had myself, I had two of my friends actually were doing it with me. So we focused on the Highlands, over to the East Coast. I did a lot of them. So I did blogs on everything. Like I did Island of Bute was one. I did Mount Stuart House. We did the dairy. We did a full, like, what to do with kids. I mean, I did the zoo. I did Châtellerault. I did festivals. I did all sorts. Anyway, long time ago. But I fell into that, and I was working then with my local tourism group, and there was a lovely lady, and she's still very lovely, and they had a bed and breakfast in Inverkip here called the Forester's House, run by Rona, and Rona is a Wallace. So she was looking at doing something Wallace related. So I thought, hey, why don't I do a Wallace tour? So I thought about doing a Wallace tour. And I, being a big fan of the Wallace myself, I devised a tour around his heartland. So it's including places of his birth, like Elderslie, Paisley Abbey, Dumbarton Castle, going down to Lanark, seeing his old house in Lanark, going to Stirling to see the battle of Stirling Bridge, going up to the Wallace Monument. So we did all these kind of Wallace things, and it was over 5 days. We also went down to Bothwell Castle. So it's a really amazing tour, actually. And the focus is on this part of Scotland. A lot of people think of Scotland, they think Highlanders and things, and they think of Wallace, and they think of Braveheart with a guy, Mel Gibson, running about in a kilt. Wallace was a lowlander. He comes from the lowlands. Bruce was a lowlander. He comes from the lowlands. So these people are incredibly important to Scottish history and to our cultural identity as Scottish people, and to the identity it's been sent across the world. So we're looking, if anyone's interested in doing a Wallace or a Bruce tour with me, that would be awesome. Tim, do you do a distillery tour? Well, of course we do distillery tours. Our name is Slange. We do a Speyside whiskey tour. We do an Islay whiskey tour. We do a Lowland whiskey tour. So our Lowland whiskey tour is Clydeside Distillery in Glasgow. We do Auchentoshan Distillery, which is by Clydebank. We do Tullibardine Distillery. It's not quite the Lowlands, but it's, you know, low-ish, which is actually a Highland distillery, and it's an independent distillery. We do Glengoyne Distillery, and we do Deanston Distillery. So we do five distilleries in a day. We can also do distilleries over on the East Coast. So we could go to Kingsbarns. That's a really good tour over there. We go to Highland. We do like Dalwhinnie all the time. We do distilleries is our other thing. In fact, there's a distillery we still haven't been in. I've got the bottles up here, I think. Hold on a wee second. I'm going to get it. Here, I do have it actually here. Here. This is the Annandale Distillery. So they sit down in Dumfries and Galloway, and they are amazing. This is a Man of Words. So this is the Burns edition, because obviously Burns died in Dumfries. So they have very cleverly named two of their expressions. One is after a Burns, and the other one is Man o' Sword, which is about Bruce, because Bruce famously was the Lord of Annandale. So they've got the connection with Bruce there. So yeah, so we're going to be doing that. Matthew McKnight, yes, we visit Kilchoman. We do. So, okay, I've already done our Islay whiskey tour on this live before, but for our Islay whiskey tour, we try to fit in all the distilleries. It's a set tour. So we go over, on the way over, we tend to stop in Inverary on the way, and we stop off at the two whiskey shops in Inverary. They're fantastic. The Lochfine whiskies, and what's the wee guy with the German Shepherds? I always forget his name, but it's right in Inverary. And then we make our way over towards oh God, I've just got island place names. I'm like Finlagan. Catriona. It's been a while. I'm in the wrong place. Like, anyway, we catch the ferry over to Islay. And on Islay, we can sometimes visit Cúil Íleach and Bunnahabhain. They're right there. Or we visit them on the last day. So it's either on the first day or the last day. But they're just to go into their shop. We don't actually have time for a tour in there unless anybody really requests it. And we stay in Bowmore for a reason, because you've got the pubs and everything nearby, although we don't know how that's going to look. We then have the first official touring day. We do the Distillers Wares tour at Laphroaig. We then go to Ardbeg for our lunch and do a table tasting. Then we go to Lagavulin and we do a warehouse tasting there. The next day we go to, so hold on a minute, 1 night, 2, so I'm just trying to get my days. So first day, yeah. Then the third day we do Bowmore, so we do a tour at Bowmore, just because it's the oldest warehouse you get to see there. We then go to Bruichladdich. We go to Bruichladdich for just a wee tasting and see their amazing shop and to get my bottle of Botanist. And then we go to Kilchoman and we do a tour at Kilchoman. So that's quite nice because it's like still like a kind of typical farm distillery, and they've got a nice wee cafe there now and a nice shop, and they've got nice tartans there. Actually, I like their stuff a lot. And then we finish the day, but we do other things in Islay, like in between. I'm just mentioning the distilleries for now. Then on day 4, we check out and we make our way to catch the ferry to Jura. So we go over to Jura. Oh, do you know what? I also forgot Ardnahoe. We also do Ardnahoe Distillery, but again, it's just a quick stop. But we do go over to Jura for the morning. You do a morning tour at the Jura Distillery, meet Elvis the cat. Then you come back over and then we catch the ferry back to the mainland. And we stay at the Stone... Oh my God, Catriona. Stonefield? Oh God. It's just been a while. You put me on the spot. Yeah, we stay at that Stonefield. Anyway, it's a nice castle. We stay there for one night. We do that because we leave the island on the last ferry. And then it's too late. So we stay there and then we make our way to back to Glasgow on day 5. So that's our Islay tour. Islay and a wee bit of Jura. I've got do you know that way? I've got places in Mull. I've got Craignews coming into bed. No, that's the wrong island. So is Finnegorst. That's the wrong island. Anyway, it's fine. Port Ellen. Port Ellen's on Islay. I'm planning to go to Islay just with my family this year, actually, for a wee couple of days, staying with Emma. She's got self-catering there. It's her B&B is actually the best place on Islay to stay, or maybe we can stay with Andrew. I don't know. We'll go. I must be depressed. Hi, Elizabeth. I actually need to message you, Elizabeth, because I think I got your message and I wasn't quite getting it. I must be depressed. I am depressed because I've been away from Islay for too long. For the Bruce tour, because Deborah asked, what does a Bruce tour entail? So Bruce will be going to things like Bannockburn, Dunfermline. We'll be going to Ayrshire, down to Turnberry, where he was born. We'll go to Mabel, where he was supposedly christened. We'll also be going to maybe Arran. Now, we know it probably wasn't Arran, but we can go down to the caves, the King's Caves. So there's some really cool things that we can do for the Bruce. Oh, and I forgot, for Wallace as well, we can go down to the Borders and see the original Wallace monument, which is down in the Borders. So that's a nice tour. God, I was too busy talking about Romans today. It's been, what's that, 103 days I've not been on tour. So Yeah, it's not good. Oh, we go to Melrose as well for the Bruce to go see where his heart. So we can actually do a combined Bruce and Wallace tour. In fact, we could do a Bruce and Wallace tour and we could get so much done. And we've got a piece of the Wallace tree as well, which is quite good. So any other questions, guys, before we finish up for tonight? And I'm going to remember these places on Islay. Helmut's not listening. Helmut. No, he's got his headphones on. He's away with the fairies right now. What the hell is that called? Kennacraig. There we go. See? I got it. Kennacraig. So we drive to Kennacraig to catch the ferry to Islay. There you go. When we come to Scotland, we're going to do all the tours. Well, we've got a lot of tours, a lot of different options as well. We try to combine as much as we can, which is a lot of fun. We try to get off the beaten path as much as we can, so we can do like little day trips. That's what I'm trying to do right now. So see with the Romans, I thought, hey, like nobody does anything with that. Like, why does nobody do anything with the Romans in Scotland? I mean, they went so far and then they fell away because we were just too damn difficult for them to manage. So they left, and then they built another wall in England to keep us out. So I think it's a really interesting part of our history, and they did leave forts, roads, and obviously the Antonine Wall, which is just so amazing. And the best part of the Roman history of Scotland, there's no entrance fee. There's literally no entrance fee to anywhere we go. It's all outside. You've also got like the Hunterian Museum and things like that, which is closed anyway. It was closed. I think they were doing some work with it. But in terms of just being outdoors and seeing these things and walking around and just finding stuff. And there was actually this, one of my first ever bus drivers was a guy called Davy, and he was just the sweetest man. He had he and I were the A team. Sadly, he passed away a couple of years ago. But he and I used to get up, and he used to tell me when he was a boy, he used to love doing something. He used to do this thing back in the day called the mystery bus. And he said what would happen is you would just go to the bus and then they would just take you somewhere for the day. And I thought that would be really cool, like just going to a mystery tour. I was thinking about starting a mystery tour and just taking you somewhere and going, right, what's the weather like today? I'm going to take you here. You're going to like this. You're going to like that. Screw what you want. I'm going to take you and you're going to love it. So, so that's something I've been thinking about doing, like a mystery tour and just going and finding and discovering things together. I think would be awesome. Yeah, there's just so much. Doing things as well like the Vikings, because the Vikings have made such a stamp on Scotland. Not necessarily going to the islands here, but sticking to this part of Scotland. Dumbarton Castle, you've got Largs, you've got Bute, Bute is an island, but it's more accessible than, say, some of the others. Argyll, Loch Lomond, Loch Long. So you've got all these cool places with Vikings, or Govan going into Govan as well. So you've got all these cool places which have got a Viking story to them. So I want to do that. Deborah's saying, I might have to plan an extra week to go and see the Henderson side of things for my husband. Garnet's still researching it. Yeah, Henderson's, yeah, there's so much in Scotland, so much. it's scary because it wasn't until I started doing this kind of as a job and going into history at each place. So my thing in having the regional ambassadors, I was so lucky to have them. And speaking to locals is really important to me because they'll tell you about different things. Oh, by the way, there's such and such down there, or I was told about this place when I was a boy, whether it's factually true or not. It's just nice little anecdotal information that you can add or you can try and research. Going up to Caithness, I was in Caithness, well, close by, last year. And I was filming The Crown last year, probably it was like September time last year I was there. I don't tour it that far. I've got a friend who does tours up in the Highlands. So with this, I think we're going to get back to our original plan and we're going to stick to our own regions. And you're going to get a local who can take you around this place. Obviously, he doesn't focus on the Hebrides, but I'll still be doing the Hebrides. And he can focus on like Caithness, the NC 500 locations, Inverness, that kind of thing. Although I will do that in a day. But if it's a multi-day, if you're going to be staying in Inverness, I think I'll send you up to Gavin because, you know, you'll have a good time with him. And I know he would be well up for it. So any other questions about anything else that I've discussed? I've discussed quite a bit tonight, but it's an exciting day. I was like buzzing, so buzzing just to be out running about Rough Castle. Watch out for the Instagram. I'm going to post it on to Facebook as well. I took a wee silly video of me just skipping about, skipping about the old Antonine Wall, the old ditch and ramparts of the old fort. So I'll be posting that just for a laugh. So look out for that. And we'll be doing more educational videos next week. I tried to do them myself today, but they're not going to come out very well. So I'm going to need a helper. Helmut's going to come. He's that way inclined to make sure that you don't hear this all the time, this kind of blowing on the mic, and you can see me properly. And yeah, so we'll be doing some good footage as well. And we've got some other really exciting news for those who are going to be self-driving. We'll be doing a self-driving information. So look out for that. That'll be launched in the beginning of August. So I've been very, 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 very busy. So thank you guys. Hi, Patrick. And thank you, Tim. If you guys ever want, you know, I've got another kind of funny story because this is all about the locals tonight. I took about 5 ages ago, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe, I got a call to get a tour. And it was a Scottish guy on the phone, but it sounded like he was like having some family over. Like I wasn't quite sure, but he's like, right, so we're going to be at Glen Eagles. It's this date. We're going to have a group. The youngest is going to be, I think, 14, and the oldest is going to be like in their late 70s. So we need to kind of organize an itinerary that's going to be suitable for all of them. So I went back, you know, and I thought, okay, what can we do? So I sent them some ideas and we put an itinerary together and they booked a tour and everything was great. So we had planned a morning of archery planned. So I took them to a place on Loch Lubnaig, and we did some archery with them. And then I took them past Doune Castle, and we actually went to the, there's like an antiques place for lunch. Then I took them to Doune Castle, and then we had a whiskey tour at Deanston Distillery. To cut a long story short, I turned up at Glen Eagles with my driver, then Frank, another guy was my driver for years until he retired. And we went up to Gleneagles. Now, Gleneagles is a 5-star hotel, absolutely stunning. We turned up, got the bus there, very, very swanky. And say I had to meet them for 9 o'clock. So we get there at like 8:30. Nice to be early. From Frank and I, we've been driving all the way from Greenock because we're both from Greenock. So we get there and I'm like, right, okay, so can use the bathroom, maybe get a coffee, whatever, while we wait for them. So 9 o'clock comes, no sign of them. 9:10 comes, no sign of them. Eventually the guy comes down and he says, okay, so we're a little bit worse for wear. The ladies are no longer coming on the tours. It's just going to be the boys. We're really excited, blah, blah, blah. So, okay. 10 o'clock comes. Okay. So finally we got everybody on the bus by 10 o'clock. And I had on my tour, I think it was 9 Scottish men. So that was a little strange. I've never had 9 Scottish men on my tour before. So all their wives and daughters, whatever, were going to have a nice day in the spa, nice afternoon tea or whatever. So I was going to take the boys out and have a nice day, which was an incredibly surreal experience because usually I'm talking about, you know, history. I've got my microphone at the front of the bus, yada, yada. This day wasn't like that. So it was more, I mean, they'd never been to some of these places I was taking them. So that was nice. I was still talking about the history. And it was really good because they were giving me their own opinions of Scottish history. And I was explaining to them. We had this nice little catch up. We got to, they were all from Motherwell, like the Motherwell area. And what it was is the guy, the main chap, he was in his late 70s. Him and his wife had been running a hair salon for many years. And every year they treat their staff and their family to a nice trip somewhere, a nice weekend away. So that year it was Gleneagles. So they also played a round of golf or something. Or one of the guys was not going to come with me because he was still going to play golf. It was something like that. But anyway, so we went to play archery. It was the funniest thing because the midges, I've never seen midges like it, like ever. Like the midges were just out. It was actually about this time of year. It was July. And we're on this, it was a beautiful day though, like sun was shining on the side of the hill on the other side of Loch Lubnaig up by where the cabins are. And he put the thing and the guy's telling us, and another Scottish guy's like, right, this is how you shoot it. So I'm standing there like this the whole time. The guy brought out like this midgie repellent, and one of the guys on the tour, in fact, I think all of them had shorts on, so they've got like their bare legs with these midges everywhere. And I was watching them, just having a laugh, trying to play this archery. So I was like, right, guys, I'm on my way back to the bus. They're like, do you not want a shot? And I was like, no, it's all right. You guys batter on. You know where I am. I'm going to be back at the bus. So I went back to the bus and they continued their archery. But one of the guys came back and honestly, I've never seen bites like it. He had at least 20 bites on each leg. That was after putting the smidgy stuff on. They just loved him. And he was a doctor actually as well. And then we went for lunch, and then we went to past Dooncastle, and then we went to Deanston Distillery because I see Deborah's gone, should have been a distillery tour. They did do a distillery tour. The older guy on the tour, he didn't like whiskey and he didn't drink, but he was still there for the ride. He was the granda. He was adorable. And it was so funny because we did the tour and they got I think he just turned 18, the guy, this one of the sons, and they got him to bottle his own. So it's just like, that was me. That was my group. So they open the butt up and he starts to bottle his own, but he doesn't switch it off. And this like whiskey's like pouring out over the side of the bottle. Oh, it was sacrilege, absolute sacrilege. But I actually went with them on the tour that day. Just followed them about. I used to do all the distillery tours at the beginning until I was like this, right? Catriona, don't say anything, because each tour does it slightly different. And obviously I've accumulated quite a lot of, well, I hope so, quite a lot of knowledge after doing so many distillery tours. I could actually do maybe the Auchentoshan one off by heart myself now, but yeah, I used to do them all, but not anymore. Usually I just sit and talk, have a yap with the staff and maybe get free hats and free coffee. So that's my story of having a group of Scottish men from like Motherwell or something. And I told them where I was from. They're like, haha, I've been there once. So it was good fun. I have had other locals, obviously, over the years, but they were the only Scottish people on that tour. It was very bizarre because it was a private tour. So I think that's us done. We've just hit our hour slot. I will be back on Friday night, tomorrow night. No, I won't. I'll be back on Saturday night. I'm going to put some material through for it. And yeah, it's going to be a wee bit of a nice blether, a wee bit of a party. That'll be on Saturday night, sorry. But no alcohol will be consumed on my side, which is why I'm drinking my passion fruit martini just now. I've still got to get up early tomorrow as well and go and post those masks. So if anyone wants a nice mask, PM me. They're £12.50. £1 goes to the NHS charity at the moment, and they're in tartan. My mother makes them. She actually told me she put the elastic on and she's made them so that if the elastic ever breaks, you can always thread through elastic. So she was very clever, cleverer than me with that. You can wash them so they're not going to be itchy, as long as you wash them in a low wash. So if anyone wants them, Deborah, I think so. I think so. We might have the new tour dates, but it all depends on our accommodations. At the moment, it's still very difficult to get someone to rearrange dates at the moment because a lot of their staff have been furloughed. So at the moment, they're really dealing more with stuff at this point in time. So we're going to have to move September till next year. So I'm hoping over the coming weeks, as they start to get more people back in the office ready for reopening on the 15th, I'll get some, I'll have a bit of extra luck with catching and pinning these people down. The B&Bs and stuff like that are dead easy at the moment because it's somebody in their house, but the hotels, they've usually got 1 or 2 people in, and they're very flaky with when they're going to be there. So hopefully I'll manage to tie them down. So I'll probably announce that, and yes, I'll send that back to the Ramsey clan. We might get a few extra bodies on it again. So, but we'll probably only be looking to reschedule everything from about January. Once we kind of know how this virus and where it's going. Obviously, it's not the best at the moment. Well, I know you're in the US. The US, I was told, you've got beaches shutting. Texas is closing again. I think North Carolina is closed again. So we're going to have to wait and see what's happening with the US. But yeah, we'll be rescheduled. Everything's rescheduled. So just the dates, and hopefully they're going to work. And we're going to go for September again, Deborah, just because September. I have not slept for about 5 days, so do give me some slack here. September rather seems to still be a good time to go, because hopefully by then we'll be looking at where this virus is going. So if we do it too early, we don't know. I know, well, that's it, Florida. I did see that because I thought this weekend is an important weekend for you guys over in America. Saturday's the 4th of July. So, celebrate the 4th of July with me on Saturday. Hopefully. I might have see if I can get a hold of an American flag or something, and we'll have a wee Scottish / American themed party. In fact, that's a good idea. I can actually do on Saturday, I'll do a special pub quiz to do with Scottish and American relations. So there we go. So we'll celebrate the 4th of July together. And we'll do that here on Saturday night, 10 o'clock. Okay, folks, I am going to go, and I'm going to go and watch another episode of Vikings because I'm absolutely hooked on the show. Like, I think Helmut and I have been watching it as often as we can. So we're now in season 5. So don't give me any spoilers if you know what's going to happen. Saturday New York time is 5 p.m. New York time. Okay, so before I go, right? So for Saturday, if you're in the US or Canada, doesn't matter, anyone anywhere in the world can join in with me. So 10 p.m. is 5 p.m. in the US. So if you guys are doing dinner or anything around that time, have snacks, have a fun party, cast me onto your TV or onto your laptop, whatever you have, and we're going to have a cool party on Saturday, 10 p.m., which is 5 p.m. in New York. So I believe that will be 2 p.m.? So if you guys in America know what time 5 p.m. is in New York to where you are in the States, go with that. I think it might be 2 p.m. I think it's 2 p.m. California time. And I think it's at 6 p.m. in like Louisiana way. I think I might be wrong, but just have a look at that. In Australia, I believe I'm with you in the morning time. I think it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh no, that's New Zealand. I think it's 8 o'clock in the morning in Australia, but you can always catch up if you can't join in. So hopefully that works for you. So see you then. If you can make it, we'll do a special 4th of July America edition. And yes, it will be on Facebook. It won't be on Zoom. It'll be here on Facebook, free for everybody to watch. And it will also be on YouTube. So if you have access to Facebook or YouTube, or if Facebook's not working for you, or you don't want to be on Facebook, or you've got YouTube on your TV. In fact, a lot of people now have apps on their TV. So if you've got a YouTube app on your TV, you can put it up on YouTube, and it's the same. If you've got your phone and you want to watch it on YouTube, you can always write in the comments. I'll know you're there anyway. So hopefully that works. So if you've got a phone, use one phone to answer the questions and just tell me where you are and how you're watching it. So there you go. So thank you all. Again, I keep saying that because I don't want to go. I've been having too much fun tonight. Still buzzing. If you want, you can share this video, but I think it'd be really good if you could share my Bearsden Baths video today and my Roughcastle video today, if you are inclined to do so. I think it is quite informative. It is quite positive to get Scotland instead of just my living room with Doune Castle behind me. You can actually share me out and about, although I will be in my living room on Saturday. So get your party. And actually, the other thing is, it didn't work the other day, but that was because it was my bad. I was doing something with my computer. I'm hoping if you guys get dressed up, get yourself dressed up on Saturday night, and you can also join me in the live. As long as you mute yourself, you can join in just so I can see you, just for a hi, where you are, just so we can all put a face to you guys, and I can have a maximum of 10 people at a time, but I'll move you in and out. So if you get your makeup on, you don't have to, but if it's what you want to do, your makeup on, do your hair, just put on, as Chris said the other day, just put on something on the top half. I don't even know what's on the bottom half. Go up and do a wee bit of a dance for me. We're going to have a good time. So I hope to see you all there. And Helmut will be, he's not going to have a choice. He's going to be involved. He doesn't know it yet because he's got his headphones on and he's sitting there, but he's also going to be involved on Saturday night. So thank you. See you later. I might do a wee live video. I'm going to be out and about tomorrow, but the weather's going to be horrendous. But I might do some little videos here and there in my local area, because I'll be out the house, so Helmut can do some recording tomorrow. So there you go. So see you then. Elizabeth, what is this? This is quarantine hair if I've ever seen it. In fact, it's so bad that my hairdresser phoned me yesterday and said I'm on her priority list. So I now have an appointment, a hair appointment for the 16th of July. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to get a cut and a colour, and I'm thinking about going a wee bit pink. I'm kind of in a pink mind. So we'll see what I do. I'm still young enough to get away with it before I start to look quite eccentric. So there you go. So have a nice evening, guys. Mwah. Lovely to see you all. And I hope, get yourselves ready. No excuses. I want to see you. I've also got grey. I've got grey, and I've got half. I look like I've just not bothered. I'd rather have grey than this at the moment, to be fair. So see you on Saturday. Good night. I'm not going to be Friday, so not Friday, because I'm going to be watching lots and lots and lots of episodes with Helmut on Vikings. We're going to have a nice couples night because we'd never get them. So we're going to do that tomorrow. So see you on Saturday. Take care, guys.